Good morning, Rogue Radio. My renegades. This is Rogue Radio. My name is Sarah Jane. And how are you? It's been a while. I know. I always. Your fearless leader always takes a hiatus and then comes right back. Well, for one, how are y'all doing? Everything okay? Did you miss me? I hope you did. But anyway. This is the last episode of the third season of Rogue Radio. If I had an applause track, I would put it down. 3 seasons in and this girl always does it through her phone and that's it. I have nothing else. But it's been a long ride. Spotify reviews started becoming a feature on Spotify, and I got some bad reviews. So, you know what? Sometimes when it comes with criticism, it does come with some sort of truth. So, next season, I'll try to be a little bit more polite on things. Try not to curse all the time. Because, for one, I understand it's a bad habit. Alright. 2, I'm in love with Moist Critical's, way he does things. And yes, I'm pretty sure he cusses sometimes. But the things that he says in order to not cuss, he'll say fiddlesticks or something like that. He'll just say some random ass words. I'm like, I need to grow up to be you. I need to talk like you, sir. Okay, well, anyway. This is Renegade Times, the last episode. Alright, let's get into it. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to click the links down in the description below to reach me on my Instagram and anywhere else. Alright? Love you. Let's get into the politics. Well, no, I don't want to get into the politics yet. I want to talk about the solar eclipse. Okay? Funny story. I had arrived at work that day, and I kid you not, this actually happened, and I won't name any names, I won't, out anybody, because of course that's my job, but we were all so distracted by the solar eclipse that all of the staff, all of us, including me, and the guests that were staying there at the time, we all got locked out, because we have automatic locks on our doors. That way so nobody can, get in that isn't supposed to be. So, we just got totally distracted. We just, watched the whole, solar eclipse. And then I look back and I'm like, does anybody have a key? Does anybody have a key? And, they're like, oh no, we got locked out. We all got locked out for maybe, 30 minutes. It wasn't a big deal because, for one, we had the solar eclipse show that we were just in awe of. And that was probably the coolest experience I've ever had. I loved it. Beautiful. Once it reached, totality, I was able to, I just, kind of sat on my own, had my own conversation with God, and then I start looking at, the birds that were, kind of hopping around the lawn. Even they stopped. I don't know whether it was because they're day animals and they were confused on why it was, all of a sudden night, but there were, 3 little robins on the lawn. Don't ask me why I always recognize birds, but I do. And they were just sitting on the lawn, and they were looking up at the solar eclipse. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. God is really awesome. Like, even the birds recognize how great God is. And do I believe that the solar eclipse was a spiritual thing? Yes, I do. It does say that the sun will turn black and all of that in Revelation, but I don't think it's the rapture just yet, because we're all still here. But, you know, it's part of the Bible, and it was really just really cool to experience, especially the fact that the birds even recognize, like, God's presence in that moment. I was like, y'all know, don't you? So do I. It's great. No, but we did end up getting back in, so, but the whole time I was trying to get in through, like, the guests' like bedroom windows, trying to climb in. All of them were locked. All of the office windows were locked. And whoever put the screen in, like, for the office windows, you were a champ, because we couldn't remove those either. I did kind of try to revert to, like, taking a hairpin from my space buns that day and trying to, like, pick the lock with a bobby pin. It didn't work. But other than that, like, that was probably the funniest thing that happened during the solar eclipse. But I think it's also kind of a God thing, and hear me out. Being locked out, I didn't have any access to my phone. My glasses broke, so I didn't have my glasses either. So most of the staff did not have our phones out. We didn't have anything for about 30 minutes. We were disconnected from any device. And I think that's, to me, I think that's God saying, pay attention. Like, pay attention to me. Like, fix your eyes on me. See what's going on. Look at me. You know? And, you know, I kind of take that as a blessing. I do. I hope you guys had a good experience watching the total solar eclipse. It was a total solar eclipse for us. I mean, we still had, like, a ring around the shadow of the moon, like, from the sun, but it was still so mesmerizing to watch. But anyway, we're gonna get into politics, which I honestly don't want to. I don't want to get into this, but because I know it's gonna make me mad. It's gonna make me mad, but we're gonna go and do it anyways. Because I promise you, politics. And if I get fired up, I'll try to find a word like fiddlesticks in order to replace my cursing. Alright, bye. Alright, first things first. Why not? Star Wars actor Billy D. Williams says actors should be able to wear blackface. Make it make sense. I'm still pissed at Fred Astaire when he did blackface, and he actually did a whole tap number pretending to be an African-American male tap dancing in one of my favorite movies back then. I am pissed at him still. Still pissed, because, like, I love Fred Astaire, I love black and white movies, so, like, when I see somebody do blackface or say the N-word, like, I know times were kinda different back then. I don't know how different, to be honest. But it still irks me. It still irks me that, like, he had done that. Because out of all the movies that I had watched Fred Astaire in, he never once kind of, like, approached the issue of like blackface or anything like that mocking African American people like in his show business, but then I found one DVD that I had not watched that I had bought from the record store, and it had blackface in it. I was so mad. I was like, bro, why? And those were the days back in the day. Those were the times when, for some reason, white people thought that was okay to do. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Even when like anybody in an old movie says the N-word, I don't know why y'all do that. But I mean, given it's gonna happen in a black and white movie, stuff like that, because that unfortunately was, you know, prominent in that era, that they thought it was okay to do that. But I really do not like the fact that this guy said this, and he's an African American man who said this. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and read it. So, Star Wars actor Billy D. Williams said he sees no reason why actors can't wear blackface, and said they should be able to do anything they thought was necessary for any given role. Okay, I love special effects makeup. Anybody who's on my Instagram knows that I love that. I love making myself look different. The only time I had ever like painted my face brown was because I was imitating a tree, you know, for the bark of the tree, or I was a robot and I wanted to make myself like a steampunk copper robot. If you are painting yourself brown for a certain role that isn't African American, I don't find any problem with that as long as you specify that you're not portraying anybody of a different race. Okay? But if you are portraying a different race, I don't... Why? I mean, why are you doing that? Anyway, during the 87-year-old actor's recent appearance of Club Random with Bill Maher podcast, the two were discussing how times have changed after Williams praised Laurence Oliver's performance in 1965 movie Othello, in which the star wore blackface, the Hollywood Reporter reported. When he did Othello, I fell out laughing, Williams said. He stuck his ass out and walked around because black people are supposed to have big asses. I thought it was hysterical. I loved it. Okay, I kind of understand why people call out cultural appropriation sometimes because of this stuff. There are stereotypes that are true, then there are stereotypes that are just exaggerated into the point where it's not true. But anyway, Maher replied, I agree, but today they would never let you do that. Williams asked why. Bill Maher replied, blackface? Why not? You should do it. Williams added, if you're an actor, you should do anything you want to do. No. I mean, like I said, when it comes to a white person's like shade of skin being brown and it's not portraying anybody of a different race, go ahead and do it. But again, this is why we have so many people offended, because we do stupid shit like this. Anyway, when the host pointed out the actor lived during a period of history where you couldn't play the part you shouldn't have played. You couldn't play the part you shouldn't have played. William told him that he didn't want to live this life as like a victim. Okay, I get it, but the point is, you don't go through life feeling like I'm a victim. The actor explained, I refuse to go through life saying to the world I'm pissed off. I'm not going to be pissed off 24 hours a day. Williams famously played Lando Carlson in the sequel to the original Star Wars. I'd have to rewatch the Star Wars because I don't know Star Wars by heart. I've only watched it once with my husband, and that was the first time I ever watched it. It was with my husband. Don't come for me. But he was in the movie The Empire Strikes Back in 1980. He reprised his role in 1983 Star Wars Return of the Jedi. And once again, when he played the leader in the third and final part of the trilogy series in episode 9? Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker in 2019. The topic of blackface in Hollywood was discussed recently when Daily Wire host Andrew Clevin pointed out Hollywood's wokeness. Hollywood's wokeness and its hypocrisy regarding racism during his appearance in the Megyn Kelly Show podcast. They talked about a recent star-studded Academy Award ceremony, which was hosted by Jimmy Kimmel, a late-night host and comedian who was previously worn blackface. I didn't know that. Kelly also noted that comedian Billy Crystal had appeared on the Oscars in blackface. What? And the Academy had celebrated Tropic Thunder, in which Robert Downey Jr. wore blackface. Okay, but was this intentional blackface? I know Tropic Thunder had everything to do with, it was a comedy about military dudes. And I'm sure they had, grease paint, smeared over their face to blend in. That one may be far-fetched, but I'd have to watch that one. But like I said, I feel like there's a reason for people to be woke to an extent to where they don't want people to go and revert back to how Fred Astaire was when he came out with big-ass shoes and blackface tap dancing. If you're blatantly, making fun of a race, I don't think that should happen. I don't know. There's just certain things I think in show business you should not do, and blackface is one of them. And if it's intentional blackface to where, you're literally making fun of another race, then don't do that. But me and Terrence have actually talked about how woke the show business has become when it comes to movies and shows and stuff like that. And we started talking about how they're making another Zorro movie, and the woman it's a woman. Zorro's a woman. We talked about how they want to remake The Neverending Story and make Atreyu black. I'm not sure why, because the kid was East Indian and he was already diverse. Why do you want to change that? They want to make Dorothy from the next remake of Wizard of Oz, African American. If you want to do that, go ahead and remake The Wiz, because that was basically an African American version of that. What's another one? They already redid Mean Girls, and I talked about that, how compared to the cast of original Mean Girls, we had, Lindsay Lohan and Rachel McAdams in it. Compared to, the cast now, I will say that they... Be quiet. I will say that they probably were thinking that the cast of the original movie were fat shaming, because now all of the women, like all of the mean girls in the show, are plus size. And I'm like, okay, body positivity, that's cool, but my bitches will always be Lindsay Lohan and Rachel McAdams and Amanda Seyfried, okay? I don't remember the other lady's name who was Gretchen Wieners, but I love you too. But I feel like if a movie is that good, why remake it? Okay? Regardless of race, regardless of that. We had watched the Percy Jackson series on Disney Plus, which was amazing, by the way. But Terrence, he had voiced his, opinion about Annabeth being African American. And the reason why is because in the book, because he read all of the books, she was a redhead and she was white. So the problem with him was like, why wouldn't they go according to the book? Probably because somebody decided to say, oh, well, it's racist to have an all-white cast. No, it's not. That's the author's preference. You can't tell the author to change the race of a beloved character. Like, they want to make a series of the Harry Potter, they want to make Hermione black. Apparently the fandom blew up because the author, I forgot her name. Dang, I haven't even read any of like the Harry Potter books. Back in the day, it was evil for me to do that. But anyway, but I did see all the movies, and it was great. It was really great. But no, I would be upset at the fact that Hermione her race would be changed. The fact that I think it was Amazon Prime that decided to do a Snow White remake, and they made Snow White Korean, when it says in the Grimm's fairy tales that her skin was white as snow. Me and my husband, we believe this. Like, if it's in a book, don't change it, because the characters in the books we hold close to our hearts, when we read them, and we have this certain image of who they are in our heads, and that's why we gravitate to them. And if they're original characters, leave them alone. If you get so bent up out of shape that the fact that there's not enough African American women representing certain roles, make your own movie. Make your own fairy tale, make your own book, write your own script. Alright? I am tired of seeing Zorro turned into a woman. I am tired of seeing Watson from Sherlock Holmes being turned into a woman. I am just upset at the fact that they want to make Atreyu black. I'm sorry if you think that is, racist for me to say. But the thing is that he was already East Indian in the movie. Why would you want to change that when he was already diverse and representing a genre of ethnic people? Why? And I mean, this is coming from a woman whose skin is pale as frick right now. Pale as fiddlesticks. I don't even know what color is a fiddlestick. Listen, I was trying not to say the F word for y'all. No, but yes, this is all coming from a white woman. You can go ahead and call me whatever you want. White privileged, white guilt, whatever the frick you want to say. Whatever you want to say. It's fine. It's cool. Been called by the worst. It's certainly not you. Anyway. Yes, this is coming from a white woman. Alright? I'm so sorry that my white privilege is pissing you off. No, I'm saying that if you really want a genre of people, if you want certain people to be represented, make your own story. We are living in a day and age where originality is not a thing anymore. There are constant remakes of old movies. You're gonna try to make a sequel of E.T., and I'm pretty sure you're gonna make it political. And I will throw my drink against the movie screen, and I will get kicked out. That is the one time you will ever see me Karen out, okay? E.T. is my movie. Because that's the first time I ever started believing in aliens, okay? Don't touch E.T. That's my dude. But they want to remake everything. That's what I'm trying to get at. They want to remake The Wizard of Oz and all of that. And I kind of understand why they want to, have some characters be more relatable, but I feel like in order to make someone more relatable from the screen, it shouldn't just be from their skin color and the way they act and the way they move and the way they sing and dance and whatever. I think it should be from the struggles that actor has gone through in order to make that as well, because everyone talks about how, African American people are oppressed. I'm not even going to argue that, because in some form, in some way, yeah, you guys have. Alright? But let's take Dorothy, for instance, okay? Judy Garland had gone through like a whole bunch of abuse while making The Wizard of Oz. She was raped, she was molested, she was beaten, she was slapped, and she was taught to keep herself underweight by drinking coffee and just smoking cigarettes most of her life. And she had an eating disorder, and later on after that, she did have a pill addiction of some sort. So saying that white people don't struggle through stuff too, I mean, stop. This is real. This is reality. So for me, as a white woman, okay, whether you believe in my opinion or not, you can take it or leave it. The fact that they want to take Dorothy away from Judy Garland and turn her into something that she wasn't, it's gonna break my heart, because that woman has gone through so much while making that movie. It's gonna be a slap in the face if she was alive today. Like, her efforts didn't mean anything. That's how I would feel if I acted a movie and then someone decided to change everything about that character and make it something else. Because me, I'm a writer, and one of these days I want one of my books to be a movie. Alright? If they ever decide to tell me, like, hey, you need to change the race of the main character, I'm walking out. I'm walking out. Because everything about that character is what I love and what I relate to, and I know I'm not the only one that would relate to that character on screen. So, if you want other people who are African American to relate to a certain African American role in a movie, make your own stuff. That is why this rant has gone to 20 minutes. It's gonna be a short episode, people. But yes, that's my opinion on that. Do I believe that blackface should be allowed in show business? Hell no. This is one of the main reasons why we have wokeness now in movies. Because they don't want us to revert back to the old days where we would portray African American people in movies. And I'm fine with anybody acting any role, as long as it's according to the book that the movie is based off of, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, yeah, be nice to each other, jeez. I'm just saying, listen, I have faith in anybody who wants to go ahead and make an African American main character in a book, in a movie, that is relatable to other kids who are African American, or who is relatable to any person of any color, because anybody who is able to see past skin color, that's amazing. Honestly, it hardly happens now. But I just really think that if it's from a book, leave it alone, alright? Don't get upset that a white person got the role, alright? If you're really that upset, make your own stuff. Alright, I probably will only have enough time for 2, pieces of news for each section. We'll see. But, Iran urging its terrorist proxy groups to launch a large attack on Israel, report. The Islamic Republic of Iran, the world-leading state sponsor of terrorism, is encouraging its terrorist proxy groups in the Middle East to launch a massive simultaneous attack on Israel in retaliation for Israel killing top Iranian general last week that played a key role in Hamas's October 7th terrorist attack. Israel eliminated Mohammad Raza Zahedi, the top commander of Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force in Lebanon and Syria from last week, as he met with other Iranian commanders and leaders from Palestinian Islamic Jihadist terrorist group. Sources familiar with U.S. intelligence told CNN that Iran has urged several of its proxy militia groups to simultaneously launch a large-scale attack against Israel using drones and missiles, and that they could attack as soon as this week. Its intelligence said that there was debate over whether terrorist groups would wait until the Ramadan ends this week before launching the attack. The threat is very clear and credible, one of the sources said to the network. They have put the pieces in place to conduct the attack now, just waiting for the right time. Iranian General Rahim Safavi said on Sunday that one of Israel's embassies around the world were safe after the Israeli airstrike targeted a building next to the Iranian consulate in Syria last week. One of the embassies of the Israeli regime are safe anymore. Wait, yeah, okay, I said that right. Said Safavi, a military advisor to Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Hope I said that right. Iran has strong influence over multiple Islamic terrorist groups in the Middle East, including Hezbollah, Lebanon, Hamas, and Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Gaza. the Houthis in Yemen and the Houthis, I don't know how you say that, sorry, and several large militias in Iraq. The most powerful of the terrorist groups is Hezbollah, which receives nearly $1 billion a year in funding from Iran. The terrorist group, which exists solely to destroy the state of Israel, is estimated to have well over 100,000 rockets and missiles that are more advanced than the kind that Hamas launches into Israel. Let me just say this. You're not gonna win. I support Israel. That's it. Okay, we're gonna be talking about Quiet on Set, which is a docu-series about what the kid stars had gone through on the set of Nickelodeon with Dan Schneider and Brian Peck. Incredible. I had bought this on YouTube. It is available on YouTube for $8 if you want to do a standard quality type of deal. I had bought it. I had written my first report on the first episode, so I will be walking you guys through each episode. There's only 3 at this time, at least. And I'm going to be talking about everything. I thought that this was a good opportunity for me to talk about, like, what my, opinion is about all of this. So I want to talk about this with you guys. There will be an episode of the Pedophiles very soon, in the next season of Rogue Radio, the 4th season that is coming up. So please be ready for that, because any of you who, I know there's financial struggles out there, so this is why I'm doing this, but I do encourage you to go ahead and buy the series, like the episodes on YouTube. It's only $8. They made it very cheap on YouTube for you to go ahead and access that, and that I actually love. I love that they did that too, that they made it cheap for viewers to get informed and stuff. But this is all about Dan Schneider and Brian Peck and the evil things that they did. So there are so many people commentating on this 3 episodes, like this whole first season. I really hope that there's going to be more episodes that come out. I really hope that anybody who is in show business that has gone through this, like, I hope and pray that you're brave enough to come out, because as much as I like talking about wokeness and how bad it is, this is one thing that I will say that is a good thing that was brought out of that. When the Me Too movement came out, this is one of the good things that came out of it. And I love that people are starting to speak out and talk about their abuse and stuff, because we need to know. We need to know who the demons are. We need to know who the cockroaches are. And me, I love exposing pedophiles. I love doing it because, for one, I care about your kids, and I don't want your kids going through that. I tell you how to spot one. I tell you who is, whether they're a musician, actor, politician, whatever. It's all on the Pedophiles podcast series. It's still under Rogue Radio, but it's just one of the little things that you guys can access on my, podcast. There's different conversations that I have with different topics, and of course, the Pedophiles is one of them. I talk about all of that, but you guys know I love exposing dirt bags like these people, okay? When I see a roach, I squash it. I don't like you. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and read this article because not only will I be walking you through each episode of the whole, 3 episodes that they have on YouTube that I had bought about this, the whole docuseries. I'm going to do each episode individually. I'm also going to be talking about the apology video that Dan Schneider had brought out as well. So you'll get 4 episodes of the pedophiles. So that is going to be my plan for that whole thing. When I found out that this was happening, I was buzzed. So we're going to go ahead and read this article. I'm already getting excited about talking about this stuff just because, like I said, I care about your kids. I want your kids to be safe. Anyway, let's go. It is very windy here in Toledo. It's been windy lately, ever since spring started, but, let's see. All That Star says Dan Schneider, asked for support before Quiet on Set aired. I told him I was terrified of him. Former Nickelodeon star Giovanni Samuels, said in the new episode of Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. I don't remember him being on there, Giovanni Samuels. If I saw, their face, then I probably would know. But, actress Giovanni Samuels didn't have particularly kind things to say about Nickelodeon's mega producer, Dan Schneider, during her appearance on Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, but Schneider seemed to think they were on good terms. On the new episode of the Bombshell Investigation Discovery docuseries, of the former All That performer said that Schneider contacted her shortly before the documentary premiered, and presumably to help him craft his response to the series. I got a phone call. He reached out a week before the documentary aired, Samuel said. He asked if I could have a quote of support. This memory causes her to laugh. A rep for Schneider did not immediately respond to EW's request for comment. This is from Entertainment Weekly, just to let you guys know. In previous episodes of Quiet on Set, Samuel said that her former All That co-star Brian Hearn alleged experiencing racism in a hostile work environment on Schneider's set. Schneider posted a 19-minute response video on March 19th, the day after Quiet on Set aired its 3rd and 4th episodes on the video. Former iCarly actor Boogie asked the Amanda Show creator about his reaction to the docuseries, to which Schneider replied, I definitely owe some people a pretty strong apology. Samuels, who appeared on All That from 2000 to 2004, speculated on why Schneider reached out to her. He knew I was in the documentary for a year, and he was like, oh, I love Gio. She's great, she's nice, she can tell my side, and I don't know what you want, she said. Okay. He asked because let me gather my thoughts for a second. He asked because I did come back to Henry Danger, which was some time later. He was like, you had a good time on set, right? Oh, okay, I know who she is. She also played in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody as well. Let's see. she did return to Nickelodeon for a 2018 episode of Schneider created series and Henry Danger. That didn't stop her from giving Schneider a piece of her mind when he called her, however. I told him I was terrified of him. She said in the new Quiet on Set episode, I said, "You have the power to make people stars, and I was intimidated by you. I wanted to do a good job. Quiet on Set, the dark side of kids TV, is streaming on Max. Yeah, it's also, you can also stream it on YouTube. Like I said, it's $8. It's gonna be, it is something that you guys will have to have a strong stomach for, because I will say Drake Bell does come out with his testimony of like what's gone on, but apparently had retracted everything for some reason, and I think that's probably because of fear. But we all know that I've talked about Drake Bell as well being a predator too, but this is kind of where I'm at a stalemate with this, because even though Drake Bell did these things, and yes, he deserves to be punished to the fullest extent of the law, but I always say in these pedophile like episodes that trauma has to come from somewhere in order for someone to traumatize them. Like, that's a big thing that I believe in. So I'm not saying that the man is innocent, but I still wanted to hear the man out as well. So I will be talking about that in the second episode of Quiet on Set. But like I said, I won't be dragging Drake through the mud this time. I really wanted to let you guys hear him out and what he's gone through, whether he retracted it or not. I will talk about, like, I will say, like, he's retracted everything before I go into it, just to let you guys know. But I really think that was out of fear. But anyway, we're gonna go on to the next one.
I know this episode is short, but thank you all for listening, and I will see you in the trenches next time for season 4. Alright, bye.